Hey guys, it's Miss Angie. I'm back again. It's been a while since I have been on the video. Y'all, excuse me, I'm trying to look at the camera correctly, but it always seems like I'm looking to the side. So, you know what? I'll get this right after a while of doing it. But anyway, how have you guys been doing? I hope y'all been checking out my videos. And I think I left the email on the last one. I'm going to check because we've been trying to get out of school and everything, and it's been a lot going on. So I'm sorry if I haven't been coming on and if I haven't left it like I said, but I'm going to get it all in order. But I just didn't want to stop. I want to keep moving forward. So guys, today I want to talk to you guys about a couple of things. One thing that has really been on my mind is the subject of beauty. The subject of beauty. Cut this radio off. And the reason why I wanted to talk to you young ladies about beauty is because beauty is always in the media. Nowadays, more than ever, beauty is just a worship. People worship beauty. And, years back, when I was younger and some other people were younger, than you guys, I'm sure, if you're at least 30, you could be my daughter or son. I would have had a son that is, I would have had a child that would have been 31. That would have been the oldest I've had. But that baby didn't make it. So that was my first. And then the second, she is 29. And then 28, 26, and 22. So if you're at least 31, you could be my son or my daughter. And so, the times are so different now than when we were growing up, and people didn't worship beauty. People didn't have cell phones. Everybody had house phones when I was growing up. And sometimes in some homes you even shared phones with other families because there could be a family next door and y'all would share a phone. I know that sounds weird. Y'all, I tell my children that and they look at me like I have 3 heads. They do. They're like, what are the words that you're speaking? But it's true. It's really true. And if you're older, I'm sure some people older than me, they remember way more than that. But that's the furthest I go back, is where you had to call the operator and said, operator, connect me to this such and such and such number. You had to go through an operator. You couldn't even call straight out on the phone and dial, and then we had the rotary phones, where you just put your finger in this little circle and you go zzz, and like that. So anyway, it's kind of fun to think back and to see how things have changed. And things have changed so much in the area of beauty too, because, and I'm talking about beauty for men and beauty for women, because men have a beauty also. We call it handsomeness, but it's still a beauty. And you know what? Oh, sorry about that. And you know what? All beauty, all those things come from God. They really do. We look like God, and a lot of people don't believe that they look like God. But you do. You really look like God. You are in His image. And if you saw yourself like that, you would never compare yourself to another person. You would never say, oh, this is like this is like that, I'm to this, I'm to that. You would never, ever, ever, ever say something like that again, because you would look at yourself exactly how you are and you would say, man, you know what? I am in the image of God. But it's people who compare us to each other. People compare us, and especially women compare ourselves in beauty. And I think there's a place for it if it's coming from a place of purity and cleanliness and just, sportsmanship. I think there could be a place for it, because in the Bible there were beauty pageants. There literally was a beauty pageant in the Bible. Queen Esther was in a beauty pageant. She won the pageant. You know what I'm saying? Sarah was beautiful. The Queen of Sheba was beautiful. I'm sure there were many other beautiful women in the Bible, and I'm sure they were very attractive women. So, if God hated beauty, He would not have made women, He would not have made us as human beings to have anything that was attractive. But when you look at beauty as coming from God, you look at it through totally different eyes. You don't look at it as something like, oh me, just me, or everybody bow down to worship me, or I'm on the runway and it's all about. No, that's idol worship. You're worshiping yourself. You are worshiping yourself. The Lord, there's nothing in the Word that tells us that we can't, as women and men, keep ourselves to be cleanly and attractive. There's nothing against that in the Word. But I'm going to tell you, there are some people, even in the church, who come against it. They come against you. They think that you are, trying to do something that's ungodly, or you are, I don't know. I don't quite understand why people behave the way they do, other than what I could get is that some people have issues with their own self-esteem. So if you have issues with your own self-esteem, and you see someone who doesn't have any issues with their self-esteem, you assume that they're arrogant. You assume that they're cocky. You assume that they are stuck on themselves. But that's not true. Maybe that person just has confidence and they don't have any issues with self-esteem. They may not have grown up in a family where the men in the family talk down to the women and put the women down and call them all kinds of names out of their names. And they may not have. I didn't grow up in that kind of family. I absolutely, and I have a large family, but I didn't grow up where people in my family call me names and put me down, and but it's so sad that some young women grow up and some young men grow up in their type, and they hear that. You should never have heard something like that. I don't remember anyone in my family ever calling me a name. Not one time. Not one time. Not even in school. Not even in school, from first grade to graduation. I don't ever remember someone calling me a name. Now, people will say things to you when they get angry, like if you won't date a guy or something, he got to get mad and call you a tackhead or something like that. Because he's mad that you won't talk to him or something. But as far as just somebody saying something mean and evil, like I never had that. And but some people experience that, and it does a job on their confidence and their self-esteem, especially if it's your brothers and your sisters, and they've made up cruel nicknames for you, calling you oink and all kinds of things like I've heard. And I'm like, really? Did the parents just not think that was unhealthy? When my children were small, I refused to let them call names. That was not allowed in our house. You could not call anybody. If it was a cute little name or something like that, and it didn't, okay. But if it was something that would hurt that person, something about their outward appearance or I would not let my children call. They have never called each other names. To this day, you can interview each one of them. They have never called each other's names. They have never put each other down. To this day, they don't put each other down. They don't fight. I've never because I never allowed that. I never allowed that. And so that, because that does so much damage to young women and young men. And young women, I was talking about beauty because a lot of, like I said earlier, a lot of young women compare themselves to themselves. And you know, the Bible says that when you do that, you are very unwise to compare yourself to another girl, another young woman. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Look in the mirror, look at yourself and see, what do you find beautiful and attractive about yourself? And what are your character, what do you think is something that you have that's great? You know, talents or giftings or something like that. And focus on that. And not on, well, this person, you know, is this and this person looks like that. You're beautiful too. But don't let beautiful be the only thing that defines you. You know what I'm saying? That's not the only thing you are. Is beautiful. You're more than beautiful. You're more than a nice figure. You're more than hair. You're more than whatever the world describes. You know, now young women are getting these, what do you call it, butt augmentations maybe, or where they're increasing the size of their bottoms and their breasts and stuff like that. Guys, if you see some of the stories, you would know. You know what? Work on what you have naturally. Don't go and get that stuff done. You're taking a very harsh chance on having some very serious side effects with some of this stuff. And it's not natural for it to be in the body. And before you even have a chance to know who you are, you're going and getting all this work done. You don't need it. And you know what? I'm going to tell some of these young women, young ladies, you can get all this work done, nose job, eyes, and all this cheek fillers and all this stuff. But when you have children, those children are not going to come out with the surgeries that you've had on your body. Those children are going to come out with the DNA that you and your husband produced. They're not, if your nose is one way, that baby's nose is going to be similar. Yours and your husband is not going to take on the plastic surgeries. Is not going to take any of that stuff. If you've lightened your skin, I'm sorry, your DNA is a certain color. If you've darkened your skin, your DNA is not going to change because you don't like it. And pretty much that's what you're saying. I don't like it. I don't like me. I don't like me. That's what you're saying. So I just wanted to take some time today. I'm so tired. But I wanted to, continue with the videos. And I want to say, don't allow people to make you hate yourself and dislike yourself. If you're dark-skinned, love your skin. I'm sorry that the culture has issues with skin tone. I mean, some things you can't change, sweetheart. And if you knew the history behind your beautiful dark skin, and it's so beautiful, like when I see people with skin like the color of Lupita, I think her name is Lupita, I'm like, oh, it's so gorgeous. And I can appreciate all types of skin tones, but people who have very dark skin, it's just so beautiful to me, and it always has been beautiful. It's just so gorgeous. I mean, those women don't even need to have any type of makeup or anything. It's just their skin just kind of shines. It's beautiful. And it's the skin from our people. And I'm going to encourage you guys not to use lighteners unless you're just, like if you get a blemish or something like that. Sometimes we women, during a month or so, we'll get a blemish here or there. And you can use a little lightener. It'll lighten that up. And one of my daughters told me that. lemon juice will lighten a blemish too. So your skin will be, even tone. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're trying to go shades lighter than what you really are, why? Why are you doing that? What have you heard to make you think that how you look is not good enough? So you're in school and you see girls with long hair, straight hair, light skin. The guys talk to them and they're not so nice to you. I'm sorry. I am sorry about that. But that doesn't mean they're right because they behave like that. They're wrong. They are wrong. They have no identity. Those young men that walk around and put you down, they have no identity. None. Only what the culture gives them. And so they're going to do whatever it is to fit in and feel good about themselves, even at the expense of making somebody else feel bad about themselves. But you have got to stand no matter what. You've got to stand and say, you know what? This is how God created me. It can't be bad. It can't be wrong. I'm dark skinned. I mean, I'm a brownish, but I'm considered dark complexion. Sure. I have no problem with that whatsoever. You can call me dark if you like. Some people have called me red. They've said your skin is red. I have one guy who said my skin looks like the same color of a brown paper bag. Actually, he thought he was giving me a compliment too. Well, I think he did give me a compliment. He did. He said, and I thought he came across the street, he wanted to tell me something. And I'm like, okay, he's gonna tell me something about the bus is late or something like. And he said, your skin is the same color as a brown paper bag. And he just had this big Kool-Aid smile on his face, like he just gave me an armful of roses. And he just walked away. And I'm like, okay, he meant that as a compliment. But he did. But you know what? I remembered that all these years, and that happened when I was like 18 years old. But he meant it as a compliment. He really did. And you know what? I thank God for how he created me. I do. I say, Daddy, you did a great job. You did, because you created my hair a certain way. You created my skin with a certain tone. You created my teeth. My teeth aren't together, but they're unique. They're mine. Some people may not like a gap, but I like it. And one time I thought about putting them together, just because I like that look. I think it looks really nice and classy. But, I like it like this too. It's just distinctively me. And come to think of it, I never had anybody in school ever say anything about my teeth. They never said anything about you have a gap. Never. Not one person. And I'm like, that was really good, because, children can be kind of cruel. They can be very cruel and vicious. A lot of children do get that from the parents not telling them that it's not cool to pick on people. That, a lot of times parents push their children to treat people so cruelly. Now, these are the same parents that call on, on Jesus and call on the Mother Mary and, and say all these type of things, but yet you push your children to be so disrespectful to other people. And you think that's an attribute of God, that you can push children to be disrespectful and open these children's hearts to evil at a young age. teaching them to tease other children and bully other children, to be downright merciless. I've seen some children act demonic toward other children. I mean, just no mercy. Tell another child they should kill themselves. Tell another child. I mean, just some of the most evil thing. You're like, how do these children get this stuff? Where are they getting this from? You don't think that would be in the mind of a child. But anyway, I think I've gotten off my subject a little bit. Young lady, you got to know who you are. You want to be a woman? If you want to be a woman, it starts with you being an individual. It starts with that. And everybody's not going to like you. You're going to have some rejections. Everybody's not going to like you, but you're going to have to think for yourself. You're going to have to make up your ground rules. You're going to have to take some stances in your life. I see too many young ladies laying down, trying to get acceptance. You're not going to get it like that. You got to accept yourself first. Young man, you're going to follow the crowd. That's not going to make you a man. Make your own decisions. Think for yourself. Does it feel right in you to hate women? Well, I only hate this. But does it feel right in you to hate women? To treat people human? These are humans you're talking about. I don't care what race you're talking about there, what ethnicity you're talking about. These are human beings that you're talking about. And if you don't like a person, then just don't be around them. But you don't have to abuse them. You're deciding to abuse. Now, some people would say, well, Angie, you don't talk to everybody. I don't. And I do not apologize either. I do not talk to everyone, because everyone does not mean you good. Like my grandma would say, everybody don't mean you good. Or she would say, that girl don't mean you no good. And today I know what she meant. Everybody doesn't mean. Some people have agendas. And if you can see in the spirit realm, you can see in people's hearts what their agenda is, you probably would be surprised. But a lot of people that I just don't say anything to, it's not that I'm a hateful person or anything like that. I know they have a hidden agenda. And I don't have time in my life. And I'm not saying as a cliche. I literally do not have the time in my life to deal with people who have those kind of thoughts in their minds. Who have these agendas. So we're not on the same page. I don't have time to deal with you. I just don't. I'm not finna fight with you. I'm not finna be on trial for you. I'm not finna give you no chance to constantly mess up my life and run the Spirit of God away. You don't have the Spirit of God in your life. You don't love God. And yet you want a chance. A chance at what? A chance at what? And some of you young ladies are so, I tell you, I've seen such beautiful, amazing young women and men. I've seen some young men get caught up too. I sat in a class and watched a young man. I couldn't say anything. He came in all innocent, like a little sheep going to the slaughter. This young lady was the wolf. And she just kept trying to get in his head, see what he wanted, see what he liked, buying him lunch, doing all this and that. Just getting in his head. Not just, I mean, just her mouth was just constantly in his ear, every day in his ear. And I'm like, young man, I wish I could. I tried to talk to him a little bit, but he was so bent on being accepted. And you got to watch out. We talk about rejection, but you got to watch out for wanting to always be accepted by everybody. Everybody's got to accept you. You in for some trouble, honey. I'm telling you right now. If you got to have people accepting you, you are in for trouble. Because the people that will accept you a lot of times will be the wrong people. There are people that's out there doing things that you don't need, introducing you to things you don't need to be introduced to. Excuse me. And next thing you know, you with this person and you got all these soul ties. You can't get rid of them. You want to get rid of them. You can't get rid of them. I mean, your life was good. But don't despise your youth. Don't despise your youthful beauty. Don't despise what God has given you, the gifts. Don't despise anything God gave you. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You're amazingly made. You're going to have to tune this culture out. You're going to have to tune your classmates out. You're going to have to tune, we've just gotten the wrong way of thinking. This is a perfect time to be single. This is a perfect time for you to be single. This is a perfect time for you to know who you are, to become a woman, to become a man. And everything you've gone through is making you stronger so that you can grow up and help somebody else to be strong. And I'm telling you that so that you won't just like, okay, everything is against me, let me give up. Don't do it. And feed yourself positive things and tune out ignorant people. And tune out people like that. That always has something negative to say, even if they live in your home. You may have to find you a place where you have peace and quiet. But, we don't worship beauty. But if you have beauty, and I've seen a lot of young women that have beauty, then just thank God, Thank God for mom and dad getting together. But don't worship it. Thank God for mom and dad. Thank God for Jesus giving you beauty. But don't worship it. And that doesn't mean don't take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Do the best you can. But, don't get into what the culture is telling you. So I hope this video helps somebody. I hope it was for somebody. I'm sorry, I'm so tired. I've been up since, what time did I get up this morning? 1:30 this morning, I think. It may have been 12:30. Because I have to get up and I have to make lunch and I have to get things ready for work and I have to do my clothes and then sometimes it's just an all day thing. So, but I just wanted to take time to make a video today. I want to tell you guys that I love you. I'm so proud of you young guys, you young married couples. Hang in there, stay strong. I speak blessings over you. Married couples, I'm praying for you, young married couples. And, join with me in prayer for this culture, for the next generations, and for, I was checking to make sure my computer was plugged in because it will click off. And, join with me in prayer, okay? Hey, God loves you guys. And I'll see you in the next video, okay? It's Miss Angie. Bye.